because I'm going to break this down to you word by word so you can see exactly what's going on here. Adam knew Eve, his wife. She conceived, she bore Cain, and said, I've gotten a man from the Lord. Now, that sounds like Adam and Eve did what men and women do, and that Eve had a baby, and it was just one baby, and they called his name Cain. That's what it looks like. That's what it sounds like. But when you get into the real interlinear, which is the original Hebrew, just straight translated to English, and Adam knew his wife. And this word ha-adam, it's not talking about a specific certain man. Watch this. It means man generally. So what we're really looking at here is, was it an occurrence of one man and one woman having one baby? Well, I don't know, because the Hebrew actually says, and when men, Adam, knew, of course this is in the sexual sense, know, it's imputed to be in the sexual sense. I think we know that. And when man knew Eve, when man knew life, when man knew woman, the bringer of life, she conceived. And that doesn't happen every time, of course, but it happens a lot of times. Now, if you have to believe that this was Adam, one guy named Adam, one chick named Eve, they had sex, and she got pregnant, that's okay. But the language is really saying men and women started having sex, and they started conceiving babies. Now you're not trying to figure out, why in the world was it Adam and Eve, and they only had two, Seth or Cain and Abel, and then we get into more of them. How could they, whose brothers who, whose sisters who, where'd the other people come from? That's only from our limited understanding of the meanings of the true language, and from the ridiculous, silly preachers that try to tell us it just means one guy and one girl and they had one kid. That might be true, but that's not what the language says. The language says when men started mating with women, they conceived. And what? They bore Cain. And she says, I got a man from the Lord. Now this makes you think, oh, this is just one kid. But watch what Cain means. She bore, what did she bore? She bore Cain. And the Cain is what? It's the name of a people. It's the name of a location. That's the main meaning of this word. It's the name of a people that are Arabic people, Sinaitic proper name. They're people that were in the Sinai of the peninsula, the Sinai Peninsula. So what this is really saying straight from the Hebrew is that men started having sex with women, and they started having babies, and they were creating people. They were creating men, women. They were creating a people. They were growing. And then she says, I have acquired a man from Yahweh. Now here's where it really gets interesting, because look what this word from means. This word from means against. Oh, some of you are picking it up. So here's what was going on, ladies and gentlemen. Man is lying with woman. They're conceiving, and yeah, big hair, don't care. They are conceiving, and they're creating people. They're populating the earth. And some of those people that were the result of this copulation and this promulgation of population were against this being called Yahweh. Now, there's some debate over whether or not the book of Job or the book of Genesis is the most ancient book in the Hebrew Scriptures. I happen to think Job is more ancient. And if you go back to Job, you read about, and I'm going to leave this to you for your homework. If you go back to Job, you'll read about Job, again, emblematic of a people that was dedicated and that was worshiping Elohim other than Yahweh. And again, I don't think his name really was Yahweh. I think he usurped that name. And I'm in a place now of transition and thought of, I used to think for sure that the Elohim were the good guys and the good girls, because Elohim means gods and goddesses, male and female, plural. There's more than one of them. I used to think that they were good, all good. Now I'm not so sure. All we know for sure is that there was at least at least one or two of them that were good. I thought they were all good. And we know that there was at least one of them that was bad, maybe one or two if you include Yahweh, Yaldabaoth, Marduk, rat bastard, whatever you choose to call him. But the Job talks about this, that there's other gods, there's other goddesses, and there's Yahweh, and some of the people on earth that were being produced by the union of men and women, some of them evidently worshipped Yahweh, but some of them didn't worship Yahweh. And Cain, whether Cain is a single dude or whether Cain is emblematic of, ladies and gentlemen, a people, Cain was against Yahweh. Do you see what I'm saying? And why are you spending so much time on this, Jeff? It's because it's important. Cain was against Yahweh. And the fact that Cain was against Yahweh looms large in understanding this verse. And again, I know I'm coming from a strictly textual context, and not everybody does that, but men were knowing women, they were conceiving, and they were bearing a people, and some of those people were against the Lord. And then she bare his brother Abel. So Cain and Abel. What does Abel mean in the original language? I don't think I looked this one up, so we're doing this one kind of cold. And again she bore, and she bare, and she conceived. Was it women or was it groups of people? And if you're of the Enlil and Enki belief system, this might fit very well with that. So then she had Abel. Who's Abel? Abel is, it just says the second son of Adam. It's a proper name. It's masculine. It is the same as Abel. What is Abel? Vanity. Oh, now we're getting somewhere. Did you see what I just did? I'm showing you how to study the scriptures. And it's not just the Hebrew scriptures or the Greek scriptures. It's how you study any scripture. You can listen to what people tell you, or you can go in and look at it yourself like this. So she bore Abel. Abel. Okay, what does that mean? Abel, short definition, doesn't give us much. Second son of Adam. This is commentary. We don't know if it's the second son of Adam. It means son, okay? Another son. So if we get down here into the Assyrian, Babylonian, and we start going back more towards the Akkadian, and we're going back towards the Sumerian, it means son, right? Ablu, son. Okay. Well, let's look a little bit deeper into it as well. How did we look deeper? We looked down and we saw, where did we see that? Oh, yeah, it comes from this word, Hebel. What does that mean? Oh, it means vanity. Oh, so now we can say, here's a son in Cain that was against Yahweh, and here's another son, but this son is of vanity. This son is a son of vanity. And as it turns out, as we continue to read, he's the one that was loyal to Yahweh. So we have one son or one people against Yahweh, not loyal to Yahweh. And we have one son or one people loyal to Yahweh. And let's learn more about this people or this dude that was loyal to Yahweh. They are a keeper of sheep. What's a keeper mean? They were somebody that pastured. They pastured. They pastured. They tended. They shepherded. They ruled over. Oh, look at this. It can be of a ruler, teacher, or accuser of people. Wow. So it's possible that not only were they keepers of sheep, but they were also keepers of people. But Cain, remember Cain, but this other people, they were tillers. What does that mean? They were tillers. They were servants. Servants of what? Servants of the ground. What's the ground? The feminine land. Boop. They were the servants of Sophia, the earth. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, I'm gonna link the video in the description. You guys really need to watch the rest of this video. I don't even know what to say. It's just really, really, really interesting. And you guys deserve to like at least see the rest of this video. It's about 40 minutes long, but it's well worth your time.